The thing about Callum was that he ran warm, not in the charming way people say about someone generous or kind. I mean, his skin was always exactly 104 degrees. I checked once with a thermometer, the kind you press to a forehead, and he laughed and said he'd always run hot. And I believed him because I wanted to, and because his laugh was the best sound I had ever heard, and because it was February and he was basically a portable radiator, and I was in love. We met in a library. Of course we did. That's the kind of detail that feels invented, but isn't he? Was in the theology section, which I thought was odd for someone who looked like him. Tall, wearing a wide-brimmed hat indoors like it was the most natural thing in the world. I asked what he was reading. He tilted the cover toward me. A History of Demonology, Volume 3. Research, he said. For what? He smiled. Accuracy. We dated for 8 months before I saw the horns. I want to be clear. This was not his fault. He had told me, in his way, many times. He had said on our second date that he was not exactly what he appeared. He had said, when I asked about his family, that it was complicated, in ways that would require significant context. He had said, the night I told him I loved him, that I should know he had never been loved before. Not once, not in a very long time. And his voice had gone strange, and low and old in a way that should have told me something about the length of that time. But I was in love, and love makes you bad at reading subtext. The horns appeared on a Tuesday. We had been arguing something small, something about a dinner reservation. I'd forgotten, and he had turned away from me, toward the window, and I saw his shadow on the wall. And the shadow had 2 curved points, rising from the head that his actual silhouette did not, and I stood very still for a long moment and said, very quietly, Callum? He turned around. He looked at me, and then, like a man who had been holding something heavy for a very long time, he stopped holding it. They were not large. That surprised me. I had expected, I don't know what I had expected. Something cinematic. Something that would explain the hat. They curved back elegantly from just above his temples, dark as scorched wood, and he stood there with his hands at his sides and his jaw tight and said nothing, waiting for me to run. I didn't run. How long? I asked. He exhaled. Since before this city existed.